Hi, I'm Barbara Morehouse.
And I'm Leal Morehouse.
I think it's 30 years in the 80s is at Ox Ridge. My mom actually was part of the team that worked with Betsy and Sue and managed the program. Yeah, the original at Ox Ridge. And I was in my late 20s and I would come in as much as I can. But my mom was there all the time, managing the program and loving the horses, and I have a passion for horses too. And then I got married and had a beautiful daughter, but I worked in New York, so I gave my daughter to my mom, and my mom took my daughter to Pegasus when she was little.
Yeah.
And Mrs. R was the pony that you were first with.
Yeah, so I started coming probably when I was about 4 or 5, and it's actually how I got introduced to horses and wanted to start riding, because she would have me help tack them up, and then once or twice got to get on after all the lessons were over, so that's kind of what started it. And then over the time through high school, I've been off and on, and now that I'm out of college, I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, in fact, I was just talking to Sue because my memories were coming back about the different people that we worked with, and one of them was this young boy. He was wonderful, and I asked Sue. It was Sue's horse that he rode, and it was Tim, her favorite horse, and he was blind, and he would come and he would ride. He was amazing, and Tim was amazing with him, and the two of them together were just amazing. So it was great to watch these kids once they get on the horses in the beginning, and they're nervous and they're all tight, and we would just be like, just relax, relax. And as soon as the horse went, as Betsy said, the muscles start to loosen because there's heat coming from the horse, and the horse's heat would relax the child. And then by the end, the child was so relaxed. So from a PE or phys ed perspective, or PT, it was fabulous, and they would leave very happy and not nervous at all, and it was just amazing. Horses are amazing.
I think she was the first person to teach me about horsemanship in general. So coming here or to Ox Ridge back in the 90s, I think it was always coming and having to take care of the horse first. The horse always came first. We always had to make sure, which you should as a horse person, that they're comfortable and happy, and learning just general horse skills. And then once I started riding, it really kind of set a foundation and a real love for it that I don't think I would have gotten just from doing lessons. I don't know if there's a specific memory, but I think what kind of carried from Pegasus into me riding in general is, I think when later in life when I was competing and things weren't going my way, she was like very direct with me that you have to love it, and if you don't love it, it's not worth it. And that was always kind of carried forward from when I was little. I think we would go together to the farm to volunteer together, and if I was like, I don't really want to do this today, she was like, you really have to. She's like, you say you love it, so we're going to be here and we're going to put in the work to do it. And I think that really carried over for sure.
Well, again, like my daughter said, horses pull you together because you get this amazing feeling from them when you're around them. And we pulled my father into it, and my father ended up working with Seth and building Peggy. And then we would have, the Ox Ridge would have the horse shows, and there would be the tent, and we would be talking about Pegasus to people, and people didn't know about Pegasus. So it was fun to tell them about it and what it does. And my father and Seth would be there with Peggy, and they'd get on top, and the kids would get on Peggy, and just having people understand horses and how much they pull you together and make you happy. They actually make you smile and happy. And my dad was very intense, but he was very much happier around horses. So it was great. And of course my mom and we didn't have enough money for me to ride as a kid. I'm one of 5. I'm the middle one, but the passion was there, and it didn't matter. When I finally did go to ride and get on a horse, it was wonderful. I wasn't as good as my wonderful daughter, but I still come here, and I definitely come here and do the barn and work with the horses and hug and kiss and groom, and it just makes you go home happy. It's just a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, and I think you're always, as a family, it's nice to find something that you all can do together that is not, being inside watching TV or something like that. So we've always done this, and even now, my dad built a table that's in the community room in the barn, and we got him involved in that once he offered his carpentry skills. So I think there was always a way to get everyone together, and it kind of over time has just been a link through different generations of people. And then we also pull in my aunts and uncles when we need it. So
Yeah.
we kind of just try to get everyone involved.
Exactly. And I actually brought my mother's sweatshirt, which is the original Pegasus logo. And we had this as a t-shirt, and this was the sweatshirt. So I do wear this when I'm here. I know it's not the official new one, but I love it. It makes me feel like my mom, who passed away actually a year ago, just October 4th.
And like having the foundation that I was able to build here, and just having more, I think, respect for the relationship with the horse that doesn't have to do with riding necessarily. I think just makes you a better horse person. So going from there, it always was a part of it. Even in high school, I would go to Betsy's farm in Newtown and help in program there, and then also ride a few of her horses. So it was a way to stay involved, and it's fun now just knowing, having had experience competitively, like kind of going back to the basics with students here and showing how much they really absorb what we're saying and really enjoy what they're doing. And I think it kind of brings things for full circle. Starting volunteering at Pegasus over the years has really fostered my relationship with horses and made me, I think, a better horsewoman. And I think it has carried over into pretty much everything I do. So it's been great to continue that as I am now an adult, and I'll try to continue doing that for a long time. Definitely not work. I think because I would associate, I would work in the barn mucking stalls, grooming horses, getting horses ready for other people, and I still loved it, but that was work. And coming here, it was maybe not a lot of kids in high school choose to do that in their spare time, but it was something that I felt was really great, and it didn't feel like work because you could see the immediate reaction with the students you were working with. And there's not a lot of opportunities where you put in the work and you can directly see exactly how your efforts and the time that you're giving is kind of making a huge impact right before your eyes. I was working with Emily, who was a participant on Saturdays, and she would ride Charisma. And over time, I remember it was almost the last week that we were working on trotting in their half seat, and we would do I would be leading, but the sidewalkers would do a hand over hand and a heel hold. And the last week she was able to hold herself up in her half seat for the first time down an entire long side, and was laughing and was so happy, and her mother was crying, and it was like a really amazing moment because she's been doing this for a few years and had never gotten to that point. So to witness that in person was great, and her sidewalkers that had been working with her for a long time were crying too, and it was a really great moment. So that definitely stood out, but I think everyone I work with is really great.
What did you major in?